Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Hey everyone, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. In this video, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin pairings, how I use them, why they're important, and certainly some shifts to be keeping an eye on those names. We also have Bitcoin with a daily inside bar yesterday, a daily inside bar today, heading down towards that support of 91.70, about $100 above it. So a lot of sideways trading, a lot of names tightening up, and I am currently about to travel for the weekend. And if we know history, it means keep an eye out for a big volatility spike this weekend, as usually when I'm traveling, that's when they happen. So half kidding there, but we'll see. 12-hour time frame, 12-period exponential support has been grinding for days now at this point. We're testing it again right now. Bulls have to hold it. If we lose this level, 89.50 is our key level. If that level breaks, we are in a daily downtrend at that point. It'll be our high, low of consolidation, lower high at 9,600, and that would be a drop to a lower low if 89.50 breaks. 12-hour, 12-period exponential support, 89.50 are the two most important levels for me. And we're going to be watching to see if they can hold into this weekend. So that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. We just had a 4-hour tightening range that had a bull break with no follow through into a bear break. And now we're seeing, will this bear break end up having follow through? Someone in a recent video commented saying, I only post my bull trades and never talk about any losers and blah, 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 which is, you know, fine enough. Definitely good to be skeptical in the trading space on social media. But one thing I want to point out as a result from that is I have not been trading much. And if we look back at the last 2 weeks of trading, I had one scale-in entry fill at 73.11. I filled one scale-in entry on the 4-hour higher low at 9,200. I sold 9,200 at 9,600, and I'm still sitting in my 7,311 position. That's 3 trades in 2 weeks' time. If I'm going to be very picky and very patient, I'm going to be waiting for optimal conditions, and it's going to be easy to not have a whole lot of losers. Honestly, I don't remember the last losing crypto trade that I've had. Certainly doesn't mean I haven't had any, but it's been potentially over a month. And that's because I'm being extremely picky, because I don't see a ton of opportunity in this space right now with the coins that I personally trade. Some of the altcoins have some more opportunity than others. But as long as that's the case, I'm going to continue taking it very slow. I'm currently sitting just under my 2019 goal for profit in the cryptocurrency space and still want to knock that out with another solid bull move. And that should do it, but patiently waiting for the most ideal setups is keeping me from having losing trades. And it's also a breath of fresh air for me personally, because in 2019, I set a goal in the stock world to, number one, trade less, because the last 2 years were very unsustainable physically for the amount of computer time and effort put into trading, and it paid off, but I definitely want to slow back down. So I achieved that so far. I'd probably say my dollar volume trading stocks in crypto is maybe going to be at about 40% of the dollar volume from 2018. Number two, I wanted to hold positions longer and try swing trading. In the stock world, I'm still green, but my results are saying stick to day trading. It goes a lot better. In the crypto world, it's different. Crypto world this year has been telling me stick to the midterm swing trade perspective, because that's been working well. So again, just always trying to shift not only my trading style, but the market environment, shifting how I trade different market environments and getting feedback after a year of trading and being able to look back at results and say, okay, this worked well, this didn't work well. That is very useful information to continue to grow as a trader and continue progressing. So Bitcoin sideways, we'll see if the inside bar can hold. 12-hour and daily exponential support is approaching. Ethereum and Litecoin have done a lot better on their daily time frames than Bitcoin has the past couple days. Why is that? Because their pairings have performed well as well. That being said, we cannot escape Bitcoin correlation. We have a big upper wick forming on Ethereum right now, and we're pulling back because Bitcoin is pulling back. So that's why I say that an altcoin's best friend is sideways Bitcoin, because it allows the bulls to do their own thing, and it also doesn't see any bearish correlation stifling bull moves. Ethereum just broke resistance today over 193.41, which means we're at the highest price we've seen since October 26th. If Bitcoin were in the same standpoint, we'd be up at $10,000 right now. Obviously, that's not the case. So Ethereum is testing 4-hour support. Anything above 187.87 keeps the bulls in control, but we need to be cautious, even if we do hold that support initially, of a head and shoulders pattern, where if we would fail to break the high of 194.60 and then roll over and lose the 4-hour uptrend, that would indicate daily consolidation is coming. So a little bit toppy, but what I'm paying attention to is the ETH BTC chart, because we have a daily trend change that has just occurred, higher low, and then we got our higher high, and that means our weekly higher low has now formed. So we have our bottom of the ETH BTC pairing, high of the bounce, higher low, and we must now see a higher high over 2304, which is still about 15% away. If that were to take place, that would be the first weekly trend change in 2 years for ETH BTC. And it will be the first weekly trend change since the crazy hype in 2017. So that would be extremely notable. How do I use these BTC pairings? I look at them to determine who am I going to trade. Am I going to trade, let's say we're dumping and we're going to see an oversold bounce. Am I looking to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin? I will look at these charts. If ETH BTC is in a daily uptrend and it's pulling back on the dump for a daily higher low, I'm going to look to trade Ethereum, looking for that daily higher low to be set when the ETH USD oversold bounce gets going. So that trend is my guide, and I've been sticking to Bitcoin recently. Let's look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. So the Bitcoin dominance chart has told us to trade Bitcoin bullish as opposed to these other names, but we now have a little daily lower high and lower low on the Bitcoin dominance chart. And if we look at it on the weekly time frame, if we drop down and break 67.75, we will then be in a weekly downtrend, which means monthly consolidation will be underway. It is currently a potential monthly bull flag, but if we lose this low of support, the odds of it being a monthly bull flag will decrease a good bit. So bulls must hold 67.75 and break 70.86 for the Bitcoin bulls to stay in complete control. If we break 67.75, that's going to be another factor that has us looking at large cap altcoin bulls as potentially better opportunities than Bitcoin in individual situations. LTC USD, also daily time frame. This is exactly what the Bitcoin bulls wanted to see and didn't see. Consolidation on declining volume, set your daily higher low, see a big bull spike in volume, and we made it all the way up to 64.40 resistance. We rejected, but that would have been like Bitcoin being up at 10,500. So again, much stronger. If we lose this 4-hour uptrend, which is being tested right now, if 62.59 breaks, we're going to be looking at the bears potentially having an opportunity in Litecoin and Ethereum if they lose their 4-hour uptrends. But we'll just be looking for a daily higher low to form. Look how much space we have to work with. Anything above 57.29 is a daily higher low. We can pull back 5% and still easily be above that level. If Bitcoin were to pull back 5% from where we stand right now, we're going to break the low and be in a daily downtrend. So the LTC and ETH bulls have a lot more space to work with to consolidate, and it's because their Bitcoin pairing charts saw solid moves. Look at Litecoin's LTC BTC daily chart. Very convincing trend change. And big bull volume and big follow through. The difference here is we're coming from a weekly lower low. So we don't have a weekly trend change anywhere in sight. Anything under 78.75 is a weekly lower high. And what I would need to see to get me interested here would be more follow through from the bulls and an inverse head and shoulders pattern. If we can get up to within striking distance of 78.75, top out, have to form a weekly higher low, and then try and change the weekly trend. Again, I need weekly trend changes to really be a believer that Litecoin and Ethereum are the better plays compared to Bitcoin. And that's not going to happen anytime soon. It's going to take weeks to happen at a minimum, in my opinion. But it's something I'm watching into the rest of the year because, as we know, correlations are always shifting. Bitcoin dominance is always shifting. Maybe Bitcoin's not always going to be the place to be as a bull in the cryptocurrency space. Maybe correlations are going to break more significantly from Big Daddy Bitcoin. We'll have to see. We'll always be paying attention, but you better believe that correlations will break more if we can see these weekly trend changes. So that's at the top of my watch list for ETH and LTC. Less so what their US dollar pairings are doing, more so what their Bitcoin pairings are doing into the end of the year. Xrp Usd. We were watching the 12-hour time frame here, which was an equilibrium, and you could say we broke resistances, absolutely, but our most clear resistances, 315 and 31, we formed a lower high compared to those levels. So I like to see the daily time frame as a little bit more clarity because I've got the high, low of that same candle, lower high, higher low, lower high, and if we pull back, we have a couple supports, 289 and 286. But the bottom line is it's fairly sideways. If we were to pull this up on the 2-day time frame, we can see just how sideways it is. Even the 3-day time frame is just a tight sideways range over the last 9 to 12 days, and we're patiently waiting for a break of that, just like Bitcoin is waiting for a break of its tight sideways range as well. And XRP is likely going to go in the direction that Bitcoin does. The Xrp Btc chart is sideways. We have not changed the daily trend like ETH and LTC BTC pairings have done. So it is a bit weaker comparative to Bitcoin than those other names. Binance has been the strongest daily chart, but we failed to break 2124, at least on the initial attempt. So if we lose the 4-hour uptrend, which we are right now, that means we could stay in this daily equilibrium. High, low. Is this our lower high at 2094? Potentially. And we'll look for a daily higher low compared to 1910. Could see further tightening of this daily chart for another week plus. But all in all, big Binance bulls are pretty pleased with how well they have been holding up over the last week and a half. Neo USD. So anything for Neo above 1012 is a daily higher low. So bulls still have about 9% to work with. 4-hour uptrend. Battling these supports short term. If $11 breaks, it'll be a short-term bear break that means zoom out and look for the daily higher low to form. So again, staying within its tightening range. High, low. This looks like our lower high being set. If we break $11, it's much more convincing. And then we look for the higher low. So it is entirely possible that some of these names do stay in their sideways ranges for really another week. And keep an eye out for a volume spike, because if we are going to break these ranges, it will absolutely have to come with a volume spike. Zrx Usd sideways. 4-hour time frame, daily time frame, pretty sideways. Need a daily trend change. Need to see a higher low, hold. We have 2 inside bars right now. If the inside bars break bullish, we'll say our daily higher low is 286. So low, high, this will be our higher low, and then the bulls would have to break 31 to change the daily trend and give us our weekly higher low. It's very healthy weekly consolidation at this point, but we're not convinced that our weekly low has been set unless we change the daily trend, which the bulls are working on, and close to some short-term resistance, which would give us 286 as our higher low. And last we got Link USD, again, extremely tight. So high, low, lower high, and just pretty much 4 days in a row sideways. 252 is the most important support for me. 279 is the most important resistance. If we get a bear break, we zoom out and look for weekly consolidation. Weekly inside bar last week. So far, a weekly inside bar this week. And just patiently waiting for breaks on these tightening ranges. Have game plans established, whether you're looking bullish or bearish. I have my stop level set on my Bitcoin position that I am currently still in. Let's see how Bitcoin is responding to the bear break. So no follow through. We have a 15-minute trend change after a 4-hour bear break, and the 4-hour time frame getting choppy. Both directions having no follow through today means zoom out for a more steady time frame and wait for it to break there. So again, patience, could be a few more days here, but we will certainly be expecting a volume spike and a volatility spike sometime likely within the next week. I appreciate you watching. Do good things out there. We'll check back in soon. I'll try and check back in over this weekend. We'll see what internet's like, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.